Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I'm Sina, and today we're exploring one of the most profound and spiritually significant points in your birth charts, the North Node and the South Node, also known as the Lunar Nodes. Unlike the planets we've explored in previous videos, the nodes aren't physical celestial bodies. They're mathematical points where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic, the path the sun appears to take around Earth. But don't let their non-physical nature fool you. The nodes reveal something deeply powerful, your soul's journey, your karmic path, and the evolution you're meant to experience in this lifetime. The South Node represents your past, so past lives, inherited gifts, comfortable patterns, and what comes naturally to you. It's your default setting, your comfort zone, the skills you've already mastered. The North Node represents your future, so your soul's growth edge, the qualities you're developing, and the path that will bring you the most fulfillment, even though it feels uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Together, these nodes form an axis in your chart, always exactly opposite each other, showing the journey from where you've been to where you're going. In this video, we'll explore the meaning and symbolism of the nodes, what they represent in your chart, the North and South Node through all 12 signs, how to work with nodal energy, and the powerful 18-month nodal return cycle. So let's begin this journey into your soul's evolutionary path. So let's start with the meaning and symbolism of the nodes. So the lunar nodes have been significant in astrology for thousands of years. Ancient cultures noticed that eclipses, some of the most dramatic celestial events, only occur when the moon and the sun align near the nodes. This connection with eclipses gives the nodes their association with fate, destiny, and major life turning points. In Vedic astrology, the nodes are personified as Rahu, North Node, and Ketu, the South Node, depicted as the head and tail of a celestial dragon. According to myth, the dragon was beheaded by the gods, but both parts remained immortal. Rahu, the head, is forever hungry, reaching for what it doesn't have, and Ketu, the tail, releases and lets go. This imagery perfectly captures the nodal dynamic. The North Node hungers for growth and new experiences, while the South Node releases and surrenders the past. The nodes move backward through the zodiac, so retrograde motion, taking approximately 18 to 19 years to complete one full cycle. This means roughly every 18 to 19 years, the nodes return to the same position they occupied at your birth, creating what's called a nodal return. These are significant life chapters when your soul's purpose becomes especially clear and urgent. The nodes are always exactly opposite each other, forming an axis. If your North Node is in Aries, your South Node is automatically in Libra, and this is a placement that I have personally. If your North Node is in Cancer, your South Node is in Capricorn. This axis represents the polarity you're working with, the balance you're learning to strike between two opposing energies. Here's what's crucial to understand. The South Node isn't bad, and the North Node isn't good. The South Node represents gifts, skills, and wisdom you've accumulated. It's valuable, but it's also where you can get stuck, where you retreat when life gets difficult, and where you avoid growth by staying comfortable. The North Node feels uncomfortable and challenging because it asks you to develop qualities you don't naturally possess. But moving toward your North Node is where you find true fulfillment, purpose, and soul evolution. Think of it this way. The South Node is your comfort food. Familiar, easy, but if that's all you eat, you become nutritionally deficient. The North Node is the vegetables, less immediately satisfying, but essential for health and growth. The key is honoring your South Node gifts while consciously choosing to grow toward your North Node. Now, what do the nodes represent in your chart? The nodes in your chart reveal your soul's evolutionary journey. Let's break down what each node represents. So the South Node represents, number 1, past life skills and karma. From a karmic perspective, your South Node shows what you mastered in past lives. These are talents and abilities that come so naturally, they feel like second nature. You don't remember learning them, you just know them. This is your South Node expertise. Next, your comfort zone and default patterns. When life gets stressful or scary, you automatically retreat to South Node behavior. It's your safety blanket, your familiar territory. The problem is that staying here prevents growth and ultimately leads to stagnation. Third, it's what you're releasing and moving away from. Your South Node shows patterns, behaviors, and ways of being that you've outgrown or overused. While these served you in the past, clinging to them now keeps you from your destiny. You're learning to release attachment to South Node patterns. Fourth, your inherent gifts and natural talents. Your South Node isn't something to reject or deny, it's a resource. You have natural abilities here that can support your North Node journey. The key is using South Node gifts to serve North Node growth, not as an excuse to avoid it. Now let's look at what the North Node represents. First, it's your soul's growth direction. This is where your soul wants to evolve. It's your life purpose, your dharma, your reason for incarnating in this lifetime. Moving toward your North Node brings deep fulfillment, even when it's uncomfortable. Second, it's new qualities you're developing. Your North Node shows traits, skills, and ways of being that don't come naturally. You're learning these from scratch in this lifetime. It feels awkward, vulnerable, and uncertain. That's how you know you're growing. Third, your destiny and life purpose. While you have free will, your North Node shows the direction that will bring you the most meaning and satisfaction. Ignoring it leads to a sense of emptiness or feeling off track. Following it creates a sense of rightness and alignment. Fourth, what brings true fulfillment. Ironically, what you're most afraid of or resistant to, your North Node, is often what brings you the deepest satisfaction. The universe is tricky that way. Your greatest fulfillment lies in what challenges you to grow. House placement of your nodes shows the life areas where this journey plays out. If your North Node is in the 10th house, you're learning to step into public leadership and career achievement, while releasing attachment to private emotional security, so South Node in the 4th house. If your North Node is in the 7th house, you're learning partnership and cooperation, while releasing the lone wolf independence of the South Node in the 1st house. The sign of your North Node colors how you're meant to grow. The sign of your South Node shows the qualities you're moving away from. Together, they create your evolutionary story. So let's explore each nodal axis. Remember, when I describe North Node in one sign, the South Node is automatically in the opposite sign. North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. You're learning courage, independence, and self-assertion. Your South Node in Libra means you've mastered diplomacy, relationships, and keeping the peace. You naturally accommodate others and see multiple perspectives, but you've over-compromised yourself. This lifetime, you're learning to be boldly yourself, to act independently, to prioritize your needs, and to be okay with conflict. Your challenge is developing a strong sense of self separate from relationships. True fulfillment comes from courageous self-assertion. North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. You're learning simplicity, stability, and peace. Your South Node in Scorpio means you've mastered intensity, crisis management, and navigating chaos. You're comfortable with complexity, depth, and drama, but you've exhausted yourself with constant transformation. This lifetime, you're learning to create simple pleasures, steady routines, and peaceful stability. Your challenge is trusting that not everything needs to be intense or transformative. True fulfillment comes from simple, sensory peace. North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. You're learning curiosity, flexibility, and open-minded communication. Your South Node in Sagittarius means you've mastered big picture thinking, philosophical certainty, and teaching truth. You naturally know the answers and want to share your wisdom, but you've become dogmatic. This lifetime, you're learning to ask questions instead of having answers, to stay curious instead of certain, and to learn from everyone around you. Your challenge is being the student, not the teacher. True fulfillment comes from eternal curiosity. North Node in Cancer, South Node in Capricorn. You're learning emotional connection, vulnerability, and nurturing. Your South Node in Capricorn means you've mastered achievement, discipline, and professional success. You naturally excel at structure, responsibility, and climbing mountains, but you've disconnected from your heart. This lifetime, you're learning to prioritize family, home, and emotional intimacy. Your challenge is being vulnerable and allowing others to care for you. True fulfillment comes from emotional bonds, not achievements. North Node in Leo, South Node in Aquarius. You're learning creative self-expression, playfulness, and personal courage. Your South Node in Aquarius means you've mastered detachment, group consciousness, and intellectual understanding. You naturally think about collective needs and maintain emotional distance, but you've lost touch with your personal heart. This lifetime, you're learning to celebrate your uniqueness, express yourself creatively, and risk being seen. Your challenge is standing out from the group and shining individually. True fulfillment comes from authentic self-expression. North Node in Virgo, South Node in Pisces. You're learning discernment, practical service, and healthy boundaries. Your South Node in Pisces means you've mastered compassion, spirituality, and oneness. You naturally merge everything, feel everyone's pain, and seek transcendence, but you've lost yourself in boundarylessness. This lifetime, you're learning to develop practical skills, create order from chaos, and serve in concrete ways. Your challenge is maintaining healthy boundaries and focusing on one thing at a time. True fulfillment comes from grounded service. North Node in Libra, South Node in Aries. You're learning partnership, diplomacy, and cooperation. Your South Node in Aries means you've mastered independence, courage, and self-reliance. You naturally do everything yourself and don't need anyone, but you've become isolated. This lifetime, you're learning to truly partner with others, to compromise, and to see others' perspectives. Your challenge is depending on others and sharing power. True fulfillment comes from authentic partnership. North Node in Scorpio, South Node in Taurus. You're learning transformation, depth, and embracing change. Your South Node in Taurus means you've mastered stability, comfort, and material security. You naturally create peace and resist change, but you've become stagnant. This lifetime, you're learning to dive into emotional depth, embrace transformation, and release attachment to security. Your challenge is letting go of what's comfortable to experience profound change. True fulfillment comes from transformation. North Node in Sagittarius, South Node in Gemini. You're learning faith, higher meaning, and philosophical truth. Your South Node in Gemini means you've mastered information gathering, versatility, and intellectual curiosity. You naturally collect facts and see all perspectives, but you've become scattered. This lifetime, you're learning to commit to a belief system, to teach what you know, and to seek higher meaning. Your challenge is moving from information to wisdom. True fulfillment comes from faith and meaning. North Node in Capricorn, South Node in Cancer. You're learning discipline, achievement, and public contribution. Your South Node in Cancer means you've mastered emotional nurturing, family care, and private life. You naturally prioritize home and emotional security, but you've hidden from the world. This lifetime, you're learning to step into public leadership, to achieve professionally, and to contribute beyond your family. Your challenge is building something that lasts in the public sphere. True fulfillment comes from achievement and legacy. North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo. You're learning detachment, collective consciousness, and humanitarian service. Your South Node in Leo means you've mastered creative expression, personal recognition, and individual specialness. You naturally seek attention and personal glory, but you've become self-focused. This lifetime, you're learning to serve the collective, to detach from personal drama, and to value the group as much as you value yourself. Your challenge is being one among many. True fulfillment comes from humanitarian contribution. North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. You're learning faith, surrender, and spiritual connection. Your South Node in Virgo means you've mastered practical skills, organization, and perfectionism. You naturally analyze, fix, and improve everything, but you've become anxious and controlling. This lifetime, you're learning to surrender control, to trust in divine timing, and embrace mystery. Your challenge is faith over logic. True fulfillment comes from spiritual surrender. Now let's see how to work with your nodal axis. Understanding your nodes is one thing, actively working with them is another. Here's how to consciously engage your nodal journey. First, honor your South Node gifts without living there. Your South Node isn't something to reject or be ashamed of. You have genuine talents and wisdom here. The key is using these gifts to support your North Node growth rather than an escape from it. Think of your South Node as your foundation, not your destination. Second, consciously choose North Node behavior, especially when it's uncomfortable. Your North Node will always feel awkward, vulnerable, and difficult. That's how you know you're doing it right. When you feel resistance, that's your signal that you're on the right path. Lean into the discomfort. That's where growth happens. Third, notice when you're retreating to South Node patterns. In times of stress, fear, or overwhelm, you'll automatically revert to South Node behavior. It's your default coping mechanism. Develop awareness of this pattern. When you catch yourself retreating, gently redirect toward North Node qualities. Self-compassion is essential here. You'll always slip back sometimes. Fourth, work with both ends of the axis. The healthiest approach isn't abandoning the South Node entirely or forcing yourself into pure North Node. It's integration, using South Node gifts to support North Node development. If you have North Node in Libra and South Node in Aries, use your Aries courage, which is the South Node gift, to courageously enter partnerships, which is the North Node growth. Fifth, pay attention during eclipses and nodal transits. Eclipses always occur near the nodes and activate your nodal axis powerfully. During eclipse seasons, you'll often experience fated events, important meetings, or clear redirections toward your North Node path. Also, when transiting planets conjunct your nodes, especially outer planets, major nodal activation occurs. Sixth, study the house axis of your nodes. The houses show where this journey plays out practically. North Node in the 10th house isn't just about developing Capricorn qualities. It's specifically about career, public life, and achievements. The house gives specificity to the sign's qualities. Seventh, be patient with the journey. North Node development is a lifetime journey, not a weekend workshop. You won't master your North Node completely, and that's okay. But every small step toward it counts. Every moment you choose North Node over South Node comfort is a victory. And eighth, remember that moving toward your North Node creates fulfillment, not comfort. This distinction is crucial. Your North Node path won't necessarily feel easy or comfortable, but it will feel meaningful, purposeful, and aligned. If you're waiting to feel comfortable before you pursue your North Node, you'll wait forever. Pursue it despite discomfort. Now let's look at the nodal returns and transits. The nodes have important cycles that mark significant life chapters. The nodal return occurs approximately every 18 to 19 years when the transiting nodes return to their natal position in your chart. This means you'll experience nodal returns around ages 18 and 19, 37 and 38, 56 and 57, 75 and 76, and if blessed with longevity, 94 and 95. Each nodal return marks a major life chapter where your soul's purpose becomes crystal clear. It's a cosmic checkpoint asking, are you on your path? Are you moving toward your node or stuck in the South Node patterns? These periods often bring fated encounters, major life decisions, and powerful course corrections. The first nodal return around age 18 and 19 coincides with young adulthood. You're leaving home, making major life decisions, and beginning to forge your own path. Your soul's purpose starts calling loudly, even if you don't have the language to articulate it yet. The second nodal return around age 37 and 38 often coincides with the Pluto square and the midlife transits. This is a powerful period of reassessment. You've lived enough to know whether you're on your soul's path or not. Many people make major life changes during this period: career shifts, relationship changes, relocating, all in service of aligning with their North Node. The third nodal return around age 56 to 57 is a wisdom integration phase. You've had enough time to develop North Node qualities, and this return asks you to fully embody them and perhaps mentor others in their nodal journey. Nodal oppositions occur midway between returns, so around ages 9, 27 to 28, 46 and 47, and 65 and 66. During these times, the transiting North Node opposes your natal North Node and conjuncts your natal South Node. These are tension points where you might feel pulled back towards South Node comfort, but are being asked to recommit to North Node growth. Eclipse seasons occur twice a year when the Sun and Moon align near the nodes. These 30-day periods bring accelerated change, fated encounters, and important beginnings or endings. Pay special attention to eclipses that directly aspect your natal nodes or planets. These are life-changing events. When transiting outer planets, especially Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto, conjunct your nodal axis, major soul evolution occurs. These are years of significant growth, often through challenging circumstances that force you toward your destiny. Now let's explore some deeper layers of nodal understanding. The nodes and relationships. When someone's planets conjunct your North Node, they're here to help you grow. They trigger North Node development, though the relationship may be challenging because it pushes you out of your comfort. When someone's planet conjuncts your South Node, the relationship feels immediately familiar and comfortable, often indicating a past life connection. These relationships are easy but may not support your growth. The nodes and your career. Your North Node often points towards your most fulfilling career direction, not necessarily what you're good at. That's South Node. True career fulfillment comes from moving towards your North Node, even if you have to develop new skills. The nodes and spiritual practice. So your North Node shows the spiritual qualities you're developing. If you have North Node in Pisces, your spiritual practice should emphasize surrender and faith. If you have North Node in Virgo, your spiritual practice should include practical service and embodiment. And then balancing the axis. So the ultimate goal isn't to become pure North Node while rejecting the South Node. It's integration, a conscious blending where you use South Node gifts to support North Node development. This creates wholeness rather than one-sided growth. The nodes and your life purpose. So your North Node is perhaps the single most important indicator of life purpose in your chart. While your Sun shows your core identity, your Moon shows your emotional needs, and your midheaven shows your career, your North Node shows your soul's evolutionary intention. When you align with it, everything falls into place more easily. Working with resistance. The resistance you feel toward your North Node is proportional to its importance for your growth. The more you resist it, the more you need it. Your resistance is actually a signpost pointing you toward your greatest growth edge. The nodes through the houses. We focus primarily on signs, but the houses are equally important. North Node in the first house learns self-development while releasing over-focus on partnership. North Node in the fourth house learns emotional security while releasing over-focus on career. The house axis shows the specific life areas of your nodal journey. Then progressions and the nodes. While your natal nodes never change, your progress chart shows how you're evolving. Sometimes, as you mature, you'll find North Node qualities becoming more natural. This doesn't mean you've finished, it means you're making progress. The North Node and South Node are your soul's GPS, showing where you've been and where you're going. Your South Node represents the gifts and wisdoms you brought into this life. Honor them, use them, but don't live there. Your North Node represents the qualities you're developing. Lean into them even when they're uncomfortable, because that's where your greatest fulfillment awaits. Understanding your nodal axis gives you a profound sense of life purpose. When you're confused about which direction to take, look to your North Node. When you feel stuck in old patterns, recognize that's your South Node comfort zone calling you back. When you're afraid of growth, remember that discomfort is the price of evolution. Your nodal journey isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Every time you choose North Node over South Node comfort, you align with your soul's intention. every time you honor your gifts while refusing to hide in them, you evolve. This is the work of a lifetime, and you're exactly where you need to be. Thank you so much for watching Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. If this exploration of the nodes has illuminated your soul's path, please like this video and subscribe for more in-depth astrological wisdom. Comment below with your North Node and South Node signs and share how you're working with this axis. I'd love to hear about your nodal journey. But until next time, keep well, beautiful souls.